Remember to like and subscribe. My wife is a sex worker. My ex-girlfriend and I met in college. She was one of the most stunning women I'd ever seen. She was always followed by a swarm of boys. I took a few classes with her over the course of 4 years, but I never pursued her because, well, all the other guys. She asked me to study with her one day after class, and the rest is history. So we got married. We began our careers in the same field, but with different businesses. An industry dominated by men. While she struggled, I had rapid success. During her first year, she changed jobs. She persisted in her struggle. She became pregnant with our first child in her 3rd year. She worked during her pregnancy. During a normal medical a few weeks after giving birth, her doctor requested a cervix biopsy. Precancerous cells were discovered in the results. The doctor recommended us to have additional children as soon as possible because this condition would worsen and a hysterectomy would be required eventually. So, when she was ready, she became pregnant again. Within a year of each other, she gave birth to another boy. Following that, other tests were performed, and various doctors urged that the treatment be performed immediately since we should not wait. She had her operation done while her 2 babies were still infants. She was devastated that she was done having children because we had hoped for a large family. She dedicated herself to becoming a wonderful mother, and she succeeded. She chose to be a stay-at-home mother. She handled everything at home. Meanwhile, my career was progressing. I was offered a position with another company with a significant wage increase. Life is wonderful. When the boys started school, she volunteered and became a regular there. I should explain that we went to school with close buddies. Bob and Alice, we saw each other a lot. They had their first child around the same time we did. They have 1 child. We went on holidays, ate together, and went on adventures as a group. Alice returned to work after the birth of her son and is now quite successful. Bob had an excellent work as well until around 2001, when it was discontinued. He struggled to find work in his field because the economy was so bad at the time. As they did not want to move, we decided he would be a stay-at-home parent while seeking for a job where we lived. My ex-wife and Bob did stuff with children together. They hung out even though they were all in school. You can probably infer they had an affair now. I know this narrative is long, but it is not over. Bob asked my ex after approximately a year of the affair if she and I had ever discussed a threesome. Bob wanted to bring a friend into the bedroom with them. My opinion differed. The day came when this new person arrived at Bob's place. He removed his suit while X and Bob warmed up. So they had their trio. Following that, the guy informed them that he was used to having to pay for sex, so he left a couple $100 bills and asked my ex if he could have a one-on-one with my ex. She told him she needed to think about it and that Bob would call her back. The new guy eventually recommended my wife to someone else, and a business was established. Bobo was eventually re-employed and had to leave my ex alone. She dialed a different phone number. She rented a storage container and converted it into a closet/office. She spent the money on clothing for her clients. She even bought a car since she didn't want her minivan to be seen in a hotel. The boys had to pay for a decent hotel room. She kept the car in a storage facility. Everything was paid for in cash. I'm not aware of her ever bringing money into our lives. During the summer, we would send the kids to various day camps. She claimed she cut our budget to pay for it. She only worked throughout the school day. She was frequently picking up the boys from school. Bob would occasionally take them up and keep them until she got home. Our family life was never jeopardized. I admit that I was working a lot and climbing the corporate ladder. The weekends were reserved for our family. Because of my work schedule, I thought it was preferable to have sex on weekends. Most nights, we'd cuddle on the couch and watch TV. 2016 arrives with everything mostly completed. We have 1 son in college and another in high school. I receive a phone call from Bob. My ex-husband is in the hospital. He was imprecise, but he did say she was in a lot of pain. I rush to the hospital, where my wife is hooked up to a slew of machines. They've already cleaned her up and had her x-rayed. She has a broken jaw, a broken nose, an orbital bone fracture, and a potential concussion. She will make it, but it will be a long journey. A police officer finished his work and left. Of course, I'm curious about what happened. Through her sobs and pain medicines, she was screaming and speaking gibberish. A nurse advised me to let her relax. They were about to put her in a room. She handed me a bag containing her clothes. I peered inside and wondered whether they were hers because she seldom wore heels and the dress was odd. According to the nurse, this is what they brought from the hotel room. As a result, they shoved me out of the room. I contacted my sons to inform them. Later that night, when the effects of the pills began to wear off, I learned more of the narrative. She faded away once more. I contacted B and had my youngest kid sit in with her. What made him call me? How did he know about it before I did? What exactly is going on? So Bob told me what my wife was up to, omitting the adultery and his role. I was heartbroken. We eventually get her home after she had jaw surgery. The nose would be patient. She recovered at home. As she grew stronger, I learned the entire story. I called AA and told her about the affair and B's status as a pimp. Bob was thrown out. I told her we were done as she stood up. I asked her to go. She decided to live with Bob. I started the divorce process. I've been divorced for 5 years. I still have feelings for her. It's as if she passed away. The pain is excruciating. My boys are aware of what she did. I haven't heard from her since she departed.